All right, now we're on to the last step, which is writing our conclusion. The context says, before the introduction of a new delivery system, a pharmacy averaged 45 minutes per order. After implementing the new system, a random sample of 160 orders had a mean delivery time of 43.2 minutes. The company conducted a hypothesis test to determine if the new system has decreased the average daily time. Using a significance level of 0.05, the test indicated that the null hypothesis should be rejected. So we're going to write the conclusion. Now, if we do reject the null hypothesis, then we say there is enough evidence to suggest that the alternative is true. Now, if we say we do not reject the null hypothesis, then we would say there is not enough evidence to suggest that the alternative is true. So using our template that I gave you on the first page, we have at the 0.05 level of significance. And this is where we say there is or there is not enough evidence to suggest that the alternative hypothesis is true. Now, in this case, the question says that the null hypothesis should be rejected when they run their test. So if the null hypothesis is rejected, then there is enough evidence. So we would say there is enough evidence to suggest, and then we write what they were testing. If we look back at the wording in the question, they were testing if the new system had decreased the average delivery time. So we're going to say there is enough evidence to suggest that the new delivery system decreased the average delivery time. All right, let's look at example 20. A university cafeteria claims that the average lunch costs $9. A sample of 85 randomly selected student transactions produced a sample mean of $9.12. The population standard deviation is known to be 0.80. A two-tailed z-test was conducted to determine if the actual mean cost differs from $9. So here is what we're testing. This is the alternative hypothesis. Using a significance level of 0.01, the test indicated that the null hypothesis should not be rejected. If we do not reject the null hypothesis, then there is not enough evidence to suggest that the alternative hypothesis is true. So using our template, we would say at the 0.01 level of significance, there is not enough evidence to suggest, and then here's where we write in what we tested. So we want to say that the mean cost differs from $9. And there's our conclusion. So just remember, if we do reject the null hypothesis, that means there is enough evidence to suggest that the alternative hypothesis is true. And if we do not reject the null hypothesis, then there is not enough evidence to suggest that the alternative hypothesis is true. So this lesson was probably pretty tough for you. It's a lot to take in at once. But in the next lesson, we're not going to learn anything new. We're just going to go through full hypothesis testing examples so that we can put all of this together and you can make sense of it.